All right, brothers and sisters, welcome back to the Matching It Podcast, the episode podcast that is just for y'all folks, y'all single folks around the world that are trying to get ready for matching and blessing, and you want to slay life and do well and create an awesome, blessed family, and you want to be happy and joyful and experience God in the process, and you want to honor and respect and love our true parents, then this is the podcast for you. I invite y'all to follow, to share with whatever people that you have in your life that you feel like would benefit from this podcast. We make these episodes only because we love you guys and we want y'all to benefit from the blessing as I have. And that's why we do this podcast. So please, I only ask that if you guys have benefited from this episode, that you share it with just one person out there that you know will benefit from it. And you guys can have a great conversation and have give and take on things that are of spiritual nature, of value, of God, and are just important in life. And we can cut through all the stuff that doesn't matter and really get to the heart of life. Guys, today I'm feeling holy. I'm in this white room, if you guys can see on YouTube, and I'm wearing my white shirt with my white jacket, with my white socks, and I feel holy, but also because we're going to be delving into the words of True Mother that she spoke this year to the blessed couples that received the blessing in February of this year. We're going to dive into these words and just have some give and take, have some dialogue about what this is. The message I want to convey today that's on my heart is just that y'all can do it. Y'all can do it. Y'all can do it. And I'm saying this because I know, guys, what it feels like to feel like I can't. I'm not capable enough. I'm unworthy. I don't have what it takes to get blessed, to find a partner, to be happy, to be in enjoyment, to be one with God, to have mind-body unity, to live a no-shadow life, to be pure water, all the things we strive for. My goodness, we strive for many ideals, high-hoped ideals and standards in our faith, don't we? Oh my goodness gracious. I mean, that's the first blessing, right? The first blessing itself, the very first one, is be fruitful, to be complete individually as an individual. And many times, if I know people well enough, which I think I know quite a lot of people, in terms of the amount of mentoring and conversations and give and take and love that I've been able to give and receive with individuals over my life, I'm fairly certain that the majority of y'all feel that completion is not possible, to really feel as pure as God has created us to be, as pure water, as no shadows, as true parents envision that we can live, to have that mind-body unity that we're talking about. It often feels like that's an unattainable, unachievable standard that I'll never get, but I might as well strive for it. And I think that's the underlying kind of belief and assumption that people have. It's something worth striving for, but it's never really attainable, that kind of thing. I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree. And I know true parents disagree too. I know that Father disagrees with that. Father knows that y'all can do it. Father knows, believed with all his heart, that you can do this. You can be the pure essence of God that Heavenly Parent wants you to be. You can become that blessed couple, that radiant family that God intends us to be. Father believed it with all his soul, to the point where he would spend day and night, sleepless hours on end, perpetually teaching about these concepts, my friends, about God, about mind-body unity, about everything. Why would he talk so endlessly about it if he didn't believe it was possible? And are you going to sit there and say that you know better than Father? Are you? That you know better than true Father? How many times true Father has given grace? Special grace. Okay? And we're not even scratching the surface of what Mother has been portraying to us, right? Mother believes with all her heart and all her being that you can live this pure water life. She has said it. I'll read these words to you in just a second. She has said it. And when you hear those words, there's something that's going to go off in you when I read these words. There's something that's going to go off in you, some emotion that's going to be stirred, some antenna is going to go off and triggered. And I want you to sit with that feeling and try to digest it and be aware of it, be conscientious of it, because many times the things that we tell ourselves or we believe within our core are not true. are not of God, of something else. They're of somewhere else, something else, and call it what you want, but it's not of God, guys. What is of God is that there is a potential in you to be exactly who you believe you want to be, and God believes that you can be. And the only thing that's stopping you, my friend, is you. Is you. Is you. And as soon as you can be self-aware enough to realize that and put your attention on that, then, my friends, the sky's the limit. Endless possibilities of the version of you. Mother believes with all her heart that you can do it, that we can bless the world, that we can change the world, that it's possible, that you guys can live as pure water with no shadows, to be complete, to receive the blessing, to create blessed families. Y'all can do it. All right. Mother gave this speech and prayer. This is actually her prayer that she gave this year, 2024, at the Heavenly Top Gun Special Blessing Ceremony on February 15th, 2024. She says, Heavenly Parent, dear Heavenly Parent, after walking for 6,000 years throughout the course of providential history, the history of fallen humankind, you, our Creator, finally allowed us the grace of the blessing through the true parents, who perfected themselves on earth. Thus, many blessed families have been given birth to throughout the world. Your dream as our Creator, however, is to live together with the true parents and your children in the kingdom of heaven on earth. You have dreamed of living with the true parents in the eternal heavenly world. That being so, you have been waiting much too long. At this time, when true parents are preparing for the entrance ceremony of the Channel Sanctum in Cheonwongung, just a year from now, notably, these 70 couples will receive this special blessing on this day in the 12th year of Cheonwongguk. I know they are standing here today with the resolve and determination to expand the environment in which you, our Heavenly Parent, can carry out your providence on earth. Heavenly Parent, when we think about the 8 billion people who do not know you, please work through these people, through their actions and the practice of true love in each country where they live. Notably, our second generation, born through the blessed families as pure water, with no relation to the fall. True parents have hope that they, as blessed children who purify the turbid world to become pure water, will do their best to expand that environment, investing sincere devotion, cheonsong, and effort to create the circumstances in which our Heavenly Parent can feel joy, celebrate, and express love. Moreover, as this is the day of the blessing, when the younger generation of the blessed families make a historic beginning toward the blessing of all 8 billion people of the world, Heavenly Parent, please accept them with joy. We true parents trust and love these couples. I pray all this in the name of the true parents. Aju. What do you guys feel? What do you guys feel when you hear this? Not what you're hearing, not what your brain says, not the logic of whatever. What do you feel when you hear these words? When you're taken through the prayer of Mother, what makes you feel something? What is the emotion that you feel? And whatever it is, that's cool. Let's sit with that for a second, all right? The feeling I'm getting is balance. And when I was reading this, I noticed certain places in which Mother expresses the balance that she sees. There's always a sense of balance with Mother. I saw this initially in the first paragraph. And many of her speeches, if you've noticed, she starts by talking about the ideal of God's blessing, God's vision for the world, for blessed families, to give birth to the world through true parents, right? And then she kind of segues into, this is your dream as a creator. However, this is your dream. However, this is not the world that we currently live in, right? There are 8 billion people in the world. There's 70 couples here receiving this blessing, and there's 8 billion people in the world that she's trying to give love to. And this also portrays this essence of balance that I'm saying, is that you could see it like, oh, the 70 couples is not a lot, not enough. And 8 billion couples is too many people. But Mother's kind of seeing it as like, it's okay. There's a balance here. These are the 70 people. These are the 70 couples, plus all the blessed families and couples that have been created by true parents in this providence that are going to expand the environment, right? True parents have hope that they, as blessed children, will do their best to expand that environment, investing sincere devotion and effort to create the circumstances in which our Heavenly Parent can feel joy, celebrate, and express love. There is a very interesting paradox that I've noticed in my life, and I've noticed it in many individuals, especially in our movement. And I looked into this paradox, and what it's called is called the progress paradox. This concept has been really revolutionary for me because it's helped me to experience more gratitude and peace and balance in my life. So listen carefully. The progress paradox is the phenomenon where if you make a goal so vividly clear and you strive for an end goal and that becomes the primary focus of your attention, then naturally, the more you focus on the end goal, the lesser our current situation feels and seems and is perceived. Examples. Classic example. You're trying to lose weight. All right. And if you have this vision in your mind of looking a certain way and feeling a certain way, which is great and fantastic. But if that is your primary focus of your attention and energy, and you neglect the present moment of what you're doing right now, and you make the outcome the main focus of your attention, the primary, then what happens is that you start to see yourself as more overweight than you probably are. You probably see yourself currently as more unhealthy. And every time you look in the mirror, you say, wow, I'm still here. I'm still fat, even though you've made progress, perhaps. Money. The more you strive for money and make that the focus of your attention, to make more, to have more, to possess more, the more your current situation will feel lesser than, will feel inadequate, will feel unworthy, will feel not enough, will feel lacking. This is the progress paradox. All right? Apply this to our movement as a whole. We have very high ideals, like I've said, guys. Completion, mind, body, unity, pure water, high noon, no shadows. 8 billion people, my God, that is not a movement. That's world domination we're talking about. Chief parents have made this declaration of changing the world. And as a result, we've inherited this kind of overarching desire to make big things. And our vision is really big. It's very clear. And on top of that, we place a very stark timeline on us to do it all within the next few years, right? And so it's an interesting paradox. And the more we focus on that as the primary outcome, the more we're neglecting actually the steps and enjoying the steps that we're taking right now to get there. So this is the paradox that we're in, right? In many aspects of life. Maybe you've experienced this. I've experienced it for sure. So does that mean don't have goals? Or does that mean sacrifice having big visions and just enjoy the moment and just focus on what we have now and just focus on these 70 couples that are getting blessed now and don't worry about the 8 billion people that Mother's talking about? Is that what that means? Does it mean don't try to lose weight and don't try to exercise and get buff and don't try to make money? Is that what that means? And just be satisfied and grateful for what we have? No, that's not what that means. It means what I'm saying is shifting the focus of primary to what are we doing right now? And secondary, naturally will come is the outcome. It becomes enjoying the process of going to the gym, enjoying the process of eating well and dieting. And secondarily, we're able to enjoy the fruits of our labor and the outcomes of losing weight, gaining muscle, whatever it is, physically speaking. It's the process of enjoying the work, the hustle to make money, but not making the money, the outcome, the primary objective of our energy and our focus. It means, yes, having big visions of blessing 8 billion people and giving most of our attention, our primary focus to what we're doing right now in the moment to not only live a life ourselves of pure water, but to receive the blessing and have a blessed family? What am I doing right now in this moment today, not tomorrow, not next year, not in 10 years from now? What am I doing today? And am I enjoying the process? And here's the secret, guys. The people that enjoy the process are the ones that succeed. Did you notice that? The people that enjoy going to the gym are the ones that do it the most and succeed long-term because they enjoy it, because they learn fundamentally to make the current step, the current moment, the primary focus of their attention, and secondarily, as a natural byproduct, the result comes. But what happens if you make the outcome the primary focus of losing weight? What happens usually is people, do extreme diets, extreme exercises. They run and they have a terrible look on their face. Have you guys seen people running and they're just miserable? I see it all the time. People are like, It's like, no. If you see a runner that loves running, you can tell. Somebody that loves running, they will just have a smile on the face. They'll probably be with a buddy. They just love it. The way they move their body. They just jam it. Those people run long term because they learn to enjoy it, the process, and they are, guess what? Healthy. But people that are just miserable and it's like, oh, I have to run. This is the only way I can lose weight, and they're not going to make it. They're not going to survive. They're not going to survive the inevitable downturns of their motivation and their mood, and they're just not going to do it. Right? They're not going to do it. For me, I love cycling. When I was living in New York City, I cycled every single day for 2 years through 2 brutal winters in New York. From New Jersey, I was living in New Jersey, and I biked to Manhattan, New York to work every day. And people thought I was nuts. And sometimes I woke up and I thought I was nuts, but I loved it so much so that I did it even when it was freezing rain, blizzards outside, and everyone was staying home. I went out on my bike and I rode. Why? Because I loved it. I felt alive. I just loved the process of trying to beat my personal records, trying to get to the office earlier and earlier, get faster, get stronger. I love the process of just meeting people on the road while you're cycling, other cyclists. I loved it so much so that I changed my health around. Guys, my thyroid was doing really bad. My heart rate, my resting heart rate was really bad. And I did that for 2 years. It completely changed my health around. And I still bike today. Not as much, but I still do cycling. All right. Back to the story here. The ability to enjoy the moment and enjoy the process as the primary focus of our attention, and then naturally the outcome will happen. If we break this down to money too, like business people, the people that do really well in business, they just for some reason have this weird delusional thing where they just love it. They love the stress. They love the, I'm not saying that's great or good for most people or not. I'm just saying that they've somehow learned to enjoy the process of just working hard and hustling and being creative and meeting people and networking and all that. And so when we talk about this, why am I bringing this up? Because mothers having this balance, I'm noticing. Actually, I've just noticed it right now. She has this balance of having a big vision, 8 billion people, but also, look at this. Look at this. He's talking to God, Heavenly Parent. You have been waiting much too long at this time when true parents are preparing for the entrance ceremony for the Channel Sanctum in Cheongung just a year from now. Notably, these 70 couples will receive this special blessing on this day in the 12th year of Cheongung. I know they are standing here today with the resolve and determination to expand the environment in which you, our Heavenly Parent, can carry out your providence on earth. All right? Okay. You, our Creator, finally allowed us the grace of the blessing through the true parents who perfected themselves on earth. Thus, many blessed families have been given birth to throughout the world. And she says this, look down here. Look at this. This is interesting. I want to know what you guys feel about this. True parents have hope that they, the blessed children who purify the turbid world to become pure water, will do their best to expand that environment. I'm looking for, she says, let's see. She says, where does she say it? Okay, notably, our second generation, born through the blessed families as pure water with no relation to the fall. Think about that, guys. When you hear that, no relation to the fall, what do you think? Tell me that isn't someone that believes wholeheartedly in the vision, in the mission, that this is possible. She's talking about no relation to the fall. Guys, when you hear that, I know what goes on in our minds. I know. He's like, that's not us. That's not me. All the things, guys, I know it. Like, take this from a guy who's like I told someone yesterday when I was having a mentor call. He was like, "Oh, you're so confident or whatever, something like that." I was like, "You know what? I pretend to be confident. That's the honest truth. I I I I want to say pretend. Like I would say there's certain things I'm really certain of. This stuff I'm really certain of. Like I'm convicted in this stuff. There's a lot of stuff, most of the stuff in the world I have no idea what I'm doing. And I often say like I'm more insecure than most people believe, and I know that more than anyone. And I'm saying that not to like be this, artificial form of humility, but really because like I've been through it, guys. I've been through this stuff you're talking about. You're trying to get matched. You're trying to get blessed. You're trying to deal with your own demons. You're trying to deal with temptation, with addiction. You're trying to deal with your relationship with your parents. You're trying to deal with yourself. I've been through it all, guys. I know what the heck you're talking about. I just celebrated my 14-year blessing anniversary this week. 14 years with my wife. All right. 14 years. I know what it's like. Funny story. I was intriguing story. I was last year playing volleyball with some teenagers, and I just went to the volleyball course just to kind of hang out. And I didn't tell people how old I am. Right now, I'm 32 years old. Right. I don't look super young, but they thought I was a teenager, mostly because everyone there was a teenager. So they thought I was a teenager, like high school kid. They're mostly like high school seniors, 17, 18 years old. And in America, people look really old. Like there's a lot. Anyway, I'm just saying nowadays kids that are 18 look like they're 30 years old. I don't know what's going on, but I was hanging out with these guys playing volleyball, and we're just like, I didn't tell them how old I am because I don't want to be that weirdo that's like, hey, I'm a 32-year-old dude that's trying to hang out with some kids. I was just like, hey, let's play volleyball. Don't mention it. And then during the break, one of them they were talking about relationships, and they were asking me about life, and it was like, oh, you in a relationship? And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm married. And they're like, oh, shoot, cool. That's awesome. How long you been married for? Right. Keep in mind, they still think I'm like 18 years old. And I was like, yeah, I'm almost 14 years. Oh my gosh. Hmm. Those memes and those videos where everyone's like, oh, snap. That's what happened. They were like, are you kidding me? You're like, how old are you? I was like, yeah, I'm about been married for about how long you've been alive. And that was a really cool moment. Just to drop that on them. Yeah, I've been married for almost 14 years. So anyway, 14-year anniversary, and we just celebrated this week with my wife. We do this thing on our anniversary, guys, where I ask my wife to say 14 things that she appreciates about me, and I write 14 things I appreciate about her. And we do this tradition every year on our anniversary, and it has to be the number of years that we've been married, right? And they have to be unique, new things that we've never said before in our anniversary. And so we were doing this, in the evening. We were eating Cheesecake Factory cheesecake, and I was like, all right, let's do this. So we wrote down in our phones, like spent maybe 5 minutes each writing down our 14 appreciations. And I kid you not, guys, after this process, I gave all of my appreciations to her, and I gave them sincerely. And I was like, this and this and this and this. And I was waiting for hers because I love receiving these appreciations because she doesn't often give appreciations out loud, at least verbally. And then what was intriguing to me and blew my mind in hysterical laughter is that I gave 14, she gave 7. And they were not appreciations. They were complaints. Okay. She wrote down 7 complaints about me. And I was like, honey, this is not how it works. You're supposed to do appreciations. And she's like, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling appreciative. I just wanted to write these things because there's certain things that I want you to improve on recently, and I just wanted to write them down. And I was like, you can't do that. I wasn't upset at all. I was just like laughing because I was like, I cannot believe this woman just did that. That is like in most circumstances is like completely unacceptable behavior. And she's just like, I don't understand why you're laughing. She's like, I wasn't feeling appreciative. So I wrote down 7 things I want you to improve on. Right? Oh my gosh. She's a winner. She is special. She's so special. Oh my goodness. Like, can you imagine? Anyways, because I have thick skin. I just laugh it off, and I think it's hilarious. But she gave me some appreciation later, which I appreciated. Her appreciations are really deep and meaningful. Like they really hit home. They're not superficial at all. If you ever meet Hitue or have a chance to talk to her, you can message her on Facebook or whatever. She is no fluff. She goes straight to the heart. She is all just love and presence, and she's just like God. I mean, you can't not experience God from her. She's exactly what she says. She's exactly what she looks like. There's like intense integrity between her word and her action and her spirit, her internal nature and her external form. I really mean that. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because she has a great husband or something like that. I don't know. But I know I have a good wife. So anyways, why am I sharing this, guys? 14 years of blessing. And what I've learned, back to the story, what I've learned for you guys is that what it really takes to be happy, not happy in like a, fluffy way, like joyful and enjoy life and to be one with God, is just to be aware. It's like, just be aware of yourself, of what's going on. Be self-aware. Every moment you can, every day you can, be self-aware. Notice yourself. When I say self-aware, I equate that with seeing yourself as God sees you. Be able to step outside of yourself for just a second, outside of your ego, outside of that little nagging satanic voice in your head or in your heart, or wherever the thing is on your shoulder that's telling you can't, you're this, you're that, you'll never be the different, you'll never find somebody. Like, ignore all that. Take a step outside of yourself for just a second and notice yourself, observe yourself. And as soon as you're able to observe yourself from a more heavenly perspective, you immediately disassociate from that nagging, satanic, evil, fallen nature, false voice, whatever you want to call it. You disassociate and disconnect from it because that's not you. And when I say self-awareness, I mean on a practical level, being able to look at yourself and be like, maybe I'm wrong. Those things that you assume are true and you don't, and just being able to have in the back of your mind at all times, like maybe I'm not seeing the whole picture. Maybe there's things at play that I don't see. Maybe all these rejections and matching processes I've been going through might be for a reason. Maybe there's something that is a weight. If I just keep going down this tunnel, maybe there's a light. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing. Maybe I don't know. Maybe me being angry at my parents or my spouse or God or whoever, maybe I'm wrong for being angry. And that's okay to be angry. It's okay to be stressed. It's okay to be lonely. It's okay to be bored. It's okay to be frustrated, anxious about the future, whatever, guys. It's fine. But don't sit in that and be like, this is true. This is accurate. This is who I am. No. Look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's not me. That's not me. It's not you. The anger that you experience is not you. That fight you had with your parent or whoever, the feelings you have, that's not you. So disassociate from that. That's what I mean by self-awareness. I mean, being able to see yourself holistically as God sees you and be like, okay, I see that, but that's not me. And when we talk about stuff like this, Mother talks about blessed families, these be second gen that are pure water and no relation to the fall. My goodness, how many second gen actually feel that way? Do you feel that way? Do you really feel that way? That having no relation with the fall, no sexual immoral temptation is possible for you? Sexual integrity, do you think that's possible for you? Mind, body unity, do you think it's possible for you? It's 100% possible for you. You can. Y'all can. You can. And if you think you can't, you probably won't, by the way. If you think you need more time, then more time is what you'll get. If you think it's not in the cards for you, a radiant, fantastic, healthy, loving blessing is not in the cards for you, beautiful children, relationship with your kids is not possible for you, then it won't happen. But it is possible for you. I'm saying this because I feel like I have to bestow to you guys this experience of the blessing that I felt. That's my responsibility as your older brother. Not a perfect brother, but I'm your older brother. I'm more wise and more experienced than you are. And I'm saying that you can do this. You can do this. You know how a lot of people have the problem where their lives are a lot worse off than they portray on social media, in most cases, especially like whoever is like, they portray their lives much better on Instagram and post all the photos. I have the opposite problem. I realized this recently. I have the opposite problem, guys. My problem is my life is way, way more sweet. than I portray on the podcast, that I could ever portray in any Instagram post or photo. I cannot portray how amazing it is to have these kids and this family, to go to church with my community, to have friends that I'm deeply connected with, to have relationships, to have the relations with the mentors and mentees I have in my life that will just message me any time of day and be like, hey, I'm struggling with this, or hey, I want to help you with this. And I can give perspective. There's nothing like that. I can take time with my kids every night, no matter how busy I am, no matter where I'm traveling the world. I'll take up to an hour with them every night, guys, every night. And I'll sit with them. I'll lie with them. I'll be present with them. I'll share with them. I'll listen to them. I'll ask them how their day was. I'll talk about Pokemon, Digimon, Power Rangers, whatever they're into right now. Right now it's Power Rangers. And I'll do that with them. Sometimes we'll be up late just making Legos. Sometimes I'll let them stay up if they want to, because that's enjoyable for me. And like that kind of stuff you can't portray. Those moments where I'm just laughing my head off because my wife, I'm expecting her to give me 14 appreciations and she gives me 7 complaints instead. At least it's not 14 complaints. Maybe I should be grateful. Like that kind of stuff you can't portray in a podcast accurately. You can't express the feeling of just absolutely hysterical laughter when I'm talking with my wife at Cheesecake Factory, and she's looks at me dead serious and she's like, thank you for sharing your appreciations. Now here are mine. And she actually thinks that they're appreciations to some extent. I'm like, are you kidding me? You can't portray that stuff online, guys. So I have the opposite problem. And I'm saying this all because y'all can do it. I've done it. That's how much I believe it, is I've done it. Like, I've done it. Not perfect, but I feel complete. Like the first blessing is about completion. It's a misnomer. It's a mistranslation because we say perfection. I think the DP was translated incorrectly initially. The first blessing is perfection, individual perfection. The Korean translation is wansong. Wansong is not perfection. It's completion. It's wholeness. All right. It's complete mistranslation. And I think it's done us a massive disservice because then we extrapolate that and say, okay, if perfection is not really possible because no one's perfect, as everyone says, right? Then that means mind and body unity is not possible, which means all these things we strive for are not possible. Of course, they're freaking possible, guys. They're possible. Don't doubt they're not possible. Strive for it. When is it possible? I don't think it takes time. I think it takes perspective and experience. It takes a moment to change your life around. It takes a moment to experience God so fully that it completely makes you a different person. It takes you a moment to have a spiritual experience that changes your life. Not in a spiritual way that you're thinking, guys. Like experience that just changes everything. A conversation. It takes one conversation with a parent or a loved one that you just are completely honest in yourself and you're received with nothing but love and grace and acceptance, and you feel God through that. It takes one conversation. So don't say time is required. Time heals all. No, time is not the element. Time is a tool. Time creates opportunities for you guys to grow and to heal and experience God. Time is a tool to be used by us humans. Money is a tool. It's not the end goal. It's a means to an end. Time is a means to an end for you guys to experience life. So it's not time that you need. You can experience that stuff today. You can change your life around today. Today. Right now. Be different. Just wake up different. Sit up from wherever you're standing or lying down or driving, wherever you are right now. You stand up and you'll be different. Just be different. Wherever you want to be. Let me rephrase that. You don't have to be different. You have to be you. The real you. Not the you that tries to be you. And it's like, oh, I want to be myself. And no, the real you is the you that God made. The real you is God's child. The real you is the spirit. The real you is the you. Be that you. You don't need to change. You already are you. You just have to get out of your own way and stop adding the unnecessary baggage onto who you already are. Be that you. And when you are that you, my friends, that's life. That's experiencing God. That's the entire purpose of everything, right? Think about it like this. So what's the purpose of life? Maybe think about it more practically. What's the purpose of today? If you were to wake up and a genie came to you and said, okay, what kind of day would you like? I'll make any day you want. Think about it deeply for a second. Don't say, I want a day in which I have $1 million. Don't think that. Like, ask your heart. If a genie came to you and said, or God, whoever came to you and said, what kind of day do you want today? What would you say? What's the day that you would really want? Then make that day. Put a word to it, make the word, and make that day. And that's it. That's life. And all the other things are like, oh, but I need to make more money, but I need to go to university, but I need to get matched and blessed, but I need to do this. Yes, sure. Okay, yes. But again, back to my original point. Those are secondary to what you're experiencing right now, what you're doing right now. Because God is not there. God is here. Think about it like that. God is not there. God is here. God transcends time and space. God is not in the past or in the future. God is not only when you get blessed and have a family. God is not then. God is here. God is now. God is with you. And if you can't experience God now, then you never will. Think about that. If you can't experience true inner happiness and oneness with God and that love, you never will. I was looking up at the stars the other night in my hammock, and my kids were inside, and there was some kind of stress in my mind. I was kind of feeling anxious, and I was trying to like notice that and breathe through that. I was looking at the stars, and I was like, why am I stressed? And then I identified the stress. It was something stupid. And I looked at the sky, and then I looked inside at my kids through the window, and I had this thought that came to me, which was, if I can't be happy now, then I never will be. If I can't find a way to have true inner happiness, not fleeting, superficial happiness, I mean inner happiness, inner peace, if I can't experience that now, then I never will. If I can't experience God right now fully, then I never will. Because it's not going to happen when XYZ happens or some milestone or benchmark is achieved, then you'll experience God fully. It's like, if you can't experience God fully right now, then you never will. So find a way to just do that now. That's it. And so I got up from my hammock. I looked inside the window and my kids playing like a little creeper. It was dark outside, and I was just looking inside, and they were just laughing and playing Legos. And my wife was, holding our baby on her back, and they were chasing each other around the house. And I was like, this is happiness. It's right now. It's not because I have a family. It's not because whatever, because a lot of people have families and are blessed and are miserable, my friends. Did you know that? Did you know that a lot of people get blessed and a lot of people have children and a lot of people do all the external things that they're supposed to do, check all the boxes, and they're still miserable? Did you know that? Whose fault is that? It's your parents' fault. It's the blessing fault. It's God's fault. This was not meant to be. The blessing is not supposed to be this hard. I want a divorce because my wife is XYZ. No, it's your fault. And I say fault with a capital F because it is your fault. It's a strong word, I know. I know. It's only a strong word if you think it is. It's your responsibility. How about that? It is your responsibility to take ownership of your life. It's no one else's responsibility. It is us. It is me. It is you. And when I say having self-awareness, that is what's the liberating part of being aware of yourself, is that you can feel everything in life and be like, okay, and that's okay. And this is what I say when I'm upset at someone. This is how I say it to my mom, to my brother, to my wife, to my kids even. This is what I'll say. I'm upset at you, and that's my fault. That's it. Or sometimes I won't say anything, but they'll pick up on it and be like, Benji, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I'll say, I'm just really angry today. I'm upset, and that's my fault. It's my fault. And I'll deal with it. And we'll talk about it, but it's my fault. It's my responsibility. And if you can live like that, my friends, you'll be so liberated, because you'll stop pointing fingers and you'll start looking at the mirror, and you'll be able to say, yes, we have 8 billion people we need to bless. Yes, I want to lose weight. Yes, I want to make more money. But where we are right now is okay, because this is the step we need to take to get there. And if we can't appreciate this step right now, the step you're in, then there's no point in even trying. Here's another way of thinking about it. I was reached out by a very insightful, wise man, young man who was in a matching process. And he's saying that over the last year, he's had a lot of matching processes not work out and fall through. And he was getting kind of discouraged and losing faith and getting frustrated. And he asked me a very good question, which is, how can I enjoy this process? because it just sucks. And he was like, how can I enjoy the process of going through these conversations and matching processes? And I said, what I just told you guys. I said to him, you have to make the current step you're taking the primary focus of your attention, not the outcome. The outcome will come naturally as a byproduct if you just make the current step you're taking right now the primary focus. That's priority number one, is what are you doing right now? And the secondary thing will come naturally. It will. It will. It's inevitable. If you do the right things, guys, it's inevitable. I like to use fitness because it's relatable to everyone, most people. If you move more, let's say exercise, and you don't eat as much junk food, you will lose weight. That's a fact. So you have to find those things that if you just say, if I do this consistently, it's almost inevitable, almost guaranteed that I'll get there eventually. And find those actions and do those, then you'll get there. You just have to keep doing those. So for a matching process, for example, it might be to every day have a conversation with your parents about the matching process. And perhaps once a week, reach out to a matching prospect, family to family, have an outreach once a week or once a day, whatever your thing is, guys. Doesn't matter. Decide on it and say, okay, I'm going to do this. And eventually I'll get there. Eventually you'll get there. Just keep doing that. Keep being consistent and you'll get there. And enjoy the process. Enjoy the moment because that's where God is. All right, to wrap up this video episode, we read some words from Mother. Take to heart what she's saying. I'm feeling just balanced. That's the word that comes to mind. Mother is very balanced. And we've covered topics that are important. And the overarching message for y'all is you can do it. Y'all can do it. And if you feel like you can't, if that voice is coming back, then come back to this video, watch it again. And let's wrap up here. I want to ask you guys to share this episode with one person, just one person. If you found it valuable in any way, we don't ask for anything from y'all. Just share it with one person because that's the only reason we do it is to help people. So just one person is our own thing. I just want to change the life of one person. All right. Okay. God bless. Thank you.